Stone Age Podcast. Welcome to the show. I got my co-host Ari in the house with Cannabis Reviews. What's up, Ari?
Buddy, what's going on, man?
Oh, it's been a while, man.
I know. It feels good to be here. I'm excited about our guest today. I'm excited to be here in the shop.
I think it's it's always nice to be able to introduce a new cannabis brand here in Arizona, and nothing better than father and son, right? So that's the brand name, Father and Son's Weed, and I think it's catchy.
Yeah, listen, I mean, anytime we talk about this all the time. Small, family-owned, family-run businesses. It's something that we one of our sponsors actually as well, Sticky Saguaro, family-owned, family-operated. I mean, these are things that we support in the community, and this is like a great guest to have on today.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Sticky Saguaro. Sticky Saguaro is one of our main sponsors out in Chandler, off of Riggs and Queen. Family-owned, family-operated, Latino-owned as well. So, I mean, they're one of the few here in Arizona. So, if you're looking for a family-owned dispensary, that's one of them. I don't know how many more there is.
I don't know any that haven't sold out to the big money, the big business, the billion-dollar corporation machine, the greed weed, as we call it here.
Well, I don't know how many people know this, but about 85 to 90% of the whole market is corporate cannabis now. So, I mean, we're hurting on that, right?
Yeah, listen, there's just not much weed that is grown with love and passion and care, and that you can feel that in the products. And I was talking to somebody about it earlier today, and it's like that's the difference between corporate cannabis and like boutique cannabis, like we've been growing and for years and years, and that you find on the traditional market. From you're lucky if you have a plug or somebody that can provide you with that good clean medicine, again grown on a small scale with love and care.
The big thing wrong with corporate cannabis, they get these guys in, they distill their secrets first of all, and then they bring in all these minions basically that don't know anything, never grown cannabis before, and they kind of give them an SOP to follow, and then that's where they lose that touch. There's nobody passionate behind it to really that cares, because like if I'm growing my own, I'm going to do everything I possibly can for those plants to be the best of the best. And these workers, they're just getting their 8 hours in, they're going home. Do they care if the plants ultimately live or die?
Right.
There's
no vested interest ultimately.
Because it doesn't matter to them. Is it going to stop their check from coming? No, they're going to be able to grow another crop and this, that, and the other one. If you're a home grower, it takes months and months just to get there again. So you can't just rebound the next day.
Right.
So I'm an advocate of homegrown. I have my shop here, Little Shop of Hydros on 7th Street, Mountain View in North Phoenix. We specialize in hydroponics, organic gardening, anything in between, and lots of education as well. And we also have Pure CBD right next door. So quality CBD products, USDA certified organic, and made with a nano emulsion, which is breaking down the particles in nano size, so you get more of the medication that actually is absorbing into your body. So those things matter. So if you're looking for premium products, Little Shop of Hydros and Pure CBD. That's what we're here.
Sunny Slope area, the farmers market.
We're at Uptown Farmers Market now. So I want to give them a shout out as well. If you're into supporting small businesses, there's hundreds of small businesses at the farmers market on Central and Bethany Home. We're there. We weren't there today because we got a lot to do, but we'll be there on the 30th, and we're proud to be there.
Yeah, listen, I'm excited. I'm excited. We got a lot of cool, fun events, and again, I'm excited about our guests today.
I am too. So let's go ahead and bring them on. We got Father and Son's Weed. We got David right here. Keaton is the son, and we have Alex over here. That's a big part of this product as well.
The cousin and nephew, right?
That's right. I didn't realize.
Yeah, family, sons. Yes. It was not singular.
Yes. David, let's get you on the mic first, and then go ahead and introduce yourself.
Absolutely. I'm David DeGroot. We started Father and Son's Weed, just trying to get into the market. We're doing live hash infused pre-rolls, and one of the things
Let's get that up close.
they were just discussing was big corporate, right? It's really hard to get started in this business. It's been a challenge, and we've been working on it for over 2 years now, right? And we've had to make a lot of changes because things change so rapidly. The other thing is, getting under a license, being able to operate. It's really difficult, right? Somebody can't just jump in and do it. Also, on the other hand, just because you have money, you can just buy your way into this market, either.
Well, some people think they can, and that's the people that kind of fail, right? I mean, I've came across a lot of people that, just thought they could get in because they haven't said, they don't hear about them anymore. You know what I mean? Or they sell off because obviously our market's hot, so they can sell very easily at that point, from the beginning to now. I mean, it's changed so drastically, it's pretty crazy to think about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I envy, what you guys are doing here. It isn't easy, to bring product to market and actually be on the shelf. And to, all of the hoops that you have to jump through to get there, not just for the financing and this, that, and the other, with the state, the cities, and all that, the licensing. It's very difficult, huh?
It's pretty difficult, yeah. And, it's not cheap either. When you're the little guy, starting out, just trying to make a quality product, it's hard to source product too, nobody wants the smaller orders. Now they do, unless you know somebody. It so happens that, you couldn't just come in and start calling people, hey, I want to buy 10 pounds, because they're like, because they're not making any commission on it,
Right.
Unless they're the big ones, the big orders and stuff like that. So, that's pretty much, where we're at. We, as luck would have it, really, we ended up with a product. These pre-rolls are just, they're kick-ass, and I don't, not here to brag about it, but I don't know what else to say. Part of it's luck, but, a lot of it is this just network of people, these great people, and the people that have allowed us to, to get in, to operate. Alex with Solomon's Refinery, he's, an expert at, hash rosin and, anything concentrates, right? We're collaborating with him to make the hash. And, why reinvent it? We got the best already, Fortunately, he's also a family member. Because everybody's trying to get him, everybody wants him to make their hash for him, and, well, he's making ours.
And that's where passion comes from, right? I mean, he's passionate about it. You can show, it shows through his products. He was showing me a couple strains before the show, and I'm highly impressed with them. I like that, he was kind of putting out like, this is what I'm doing. And I was like, wow. I've seen a lot of concentrate, a lot of concentrate companies, and you can't say that about all of them. You know what I mean? Like, the quality is showing through, so Alex, good job on that. Did you come up with this name?
I did.
All right.
Yeah, I did.
Love it. All right.
It was, actually, it was a little bit, a lot of people think, you should do some kind of like 80s rock band type of, name or something like that, fire, death, or whatever. And so it's a little different.
Everything is fire now with the youth generation. It's fire, man. It's fire.
It's loud.
Right, fire.
Fire, yeah.
But the truth is, that's what it is. It's, and basically, I started figuring things out, we should listen to our kids, They grow up, they get involved in industry, whatever, where they get to be experts. He's a product expert, he's been at numerous brands for years. And also he's an expert smoker. And I'm so proud of him, So, basically.
Well, you couldn't have a better business.
Yeah, seriously.
These guys are connoisseurs on a different level. If I'm talking, from a business perspective, we can, trim some whatever. It's a no. There's not even a discussion on that. That's his job, really.
Well, I have to say, I'm kind of jealous because I can't just smack around my business.
That's right. Yeah, he's not gonna come after you. Yeah.
It's a little respect thing, right?
Yeah.
No, but I think it's a beautiful relationship that you guys can, that's what it was missing back in the day with cannabis, right? Like, that was forbidden. Anything cannabis was forbidden, so, no matter how passionate you were, you couldn't have tried something wrong because you were, condoning some illegal activity.
Right,
So,
exactly.
You make a criminal at that point. You know what I mean? And the lies and the laws.
Yeah, God forbid, then you got social services coming after you. It's like they take your kid away, like you're a bad father, child endangerment. Yeah, the times have changed, right?
So this is a beautiful moment in time where you can make this possible. I think that's, I really envy that, because my my daughter's, she's just turned 15, so I hope someday that that's possible for me too, you know what I mean? It all depends on if she's that person and passionate about it, obviously, but at least that opportunity is there to where, we can make that happen someday. I think it's a beautiful thing that you can incorporate family now, and the industry is in a spot to where it's still fresh. So things like this, like a brand like this is, like I said, I was telling you before, this is catchy. People want to support family-owned, family-operated, small kind of business.
Small batch, yep.
Yeah, and they're gonna see that, and then your story behind it. The more you get it out, I think people are gonna love it.
Yeah, and I like again that you'd highlighted that because, as you had mentioned, it's like, okay, yeah, I can't fulfill this huge monster order, and I'm not going to fill up every single location of Harvest, with my products, but you know what, we are going to be in a couple locations, and we're going to do it to the best of our ability to scale, right? And I mean, if it truly, and I know, I read a little bit about you guys before we chatted today, and it's like, if it really is ultimately not as much about the money and it's more about the product and just putting out a good product out there, then to do something to scale is, that's the way to do it. Again, you get into the market how you can get into the market, and ultimately the product is going to speak for itself. I think people know, they buy products. People aren't really, there are people who want, it's like you go to the store and you can get the $2 chuck, or you can get that nice organic ground beef, and people who care, want that organic ground beef, like myself, if I'm going to consume that, and again, I think to have a nice boutique product
in the pre-roll
is a good thing, right?
Pre-rolls, but if you had the choice, like you're saying, to have a top tier pre-roll that is going to actually do the job, right?
Yeah, thank you for saying that and kind of pointing that out, because the truth is even just before we got started, I tried one of these out, and I'm one of those people who's like, fuck pre-rolls. If like, when I would go to this, to dispensaries and get, buying weed to do these strain reviews that we do on Weed Critics and Cannapedia reviews on my channel, they're giving me free pre-rolls. It's like, I'm lucky to pawn those off to my friends. Like, here, do you guys want some fucking free rolls? It's like, I don't want to smoke that shit, man. Like, seriously, I don't, man. Save that for some distillate garbage or whatever they're, gonna make out of it. But for me, I will say that, okay, they're only a half gram, but they're really good, and they're clean, and they're smooth. It really hit nice and smooth. And I am gonna admit, I'm a little bit of a weed snob in that, like, this was the first, I don't really smoke joints all that often. Vodka and I smoked one, maybe a month ago at the river. Before that, it was like a couple months. I consume cannabis out of the vaporizer. I want the taste, I want the flavor, I want it in its purest form. And again, for somebody who doesn't smoke, using combustion a lot, I enjoyed it. It was good. It was clean medicine.
Yeah, I agree.
It felt good. I liked the way it made me feel. It wasn't like a shitty vibe. And we had the white Wookiees crossed with the fruit punch runts as well. So I was gonna ask, what is the, so there's live hash rosin in these.
Live hash.
Okay, live hash.
Before you smash it.
Okay, right. Live hash. Yes. Okay. Yes. So
old school.
So what? Yeah. So old school. So is it the same strain as what the flower is? Or is it made from a different product? So here, yeah. Let's pass the mic here.
See, I know the hash is a different strain than the flowers.
Okay.
Yeah. So we did make I don't remember the 3 strains that we did in the hash.
It was Hawaiian Gushers, Hawaiian Runs, Watermelon Gushers, and then Wedding Cake made fruit punch runs.
Okay. So, gotcha. I'm like, cause it was, so we got a lot of crosses going on there.
Yeah.
It's really, this is like, I feel like you guys are making like boutique cocktails, you know, sort of thing, you know?
Yeah, definitely going for all the terms, you know.
Yep, very much for the flavor.
You know, the flavors is what it's all about, you know what I mean? And that's why I don't usually smoke pre-rolls like Art was saying, you know, because it just doesn't taste good. You know what I mean? They use the lowest, most companies use the lowest quality product to be able to do that, just so they're making something extra, right, out of, no waste, basically. So they're able to make profit off of maybe people that aren't as experienced, that maybe don't know, you know what I mean? Because I have a lot of people out there, because we're always out in the community, that are just, they love getting all these free pre-rolls, and I'm like, you know, I get it, but I don't want to smoke that.
Yeah,
How do you
again,
feel about
that's the $80 ounces, the, you know, the free rolls, like, it's not my thing, it's all good, I pass on that.
Yeah, I'd rather not smoke.
Right, I'd rather not smoke.
I got like, 10 or 20 of them at home,
Mhm.
they hand out for free.
Yep.
I'm not sure if they're good anymore.
Yeah.
But, they just pouring them on you, you know?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's trim in some of those, you know, instead of weed.
But would you, I would not give away a whole bunch of bud at these events like candy, you know what I mean? I wouldn't do that.
Some of them are real good though, I mean, some high
But that's the
ratings.
difference,
Nice,
right? I mean, but
Genesis
these
has some out there too, so.
major companies out there that won't do it, right? With these small mom and pop that really wanna make, you know, an impact on the community. You guys do that, and I think that's great.
Yeah, definitely. We want to kind of keep it quality oriented with everything that we do.
So yeah, tell us how long, you know, Alex, you know, you tell us about your company and how long you've been doing this.
So I'm myself in this refinery. I'm the owner operator, kind of a one-man team doing it all. I started in cannabis when I was like 14, you know, selling in high school, doing the thing. Graduated to, you know, growing my own stuff, flipping that. When I turned 21, I moved out to Oregon on my birthday. Ran 2 dispensaries and an 1.5 acre grow with 2 other growers.
Nice.
So I kind of just went balls to the walls the second I could and just dedicated kind of my young life and future career with it.
Right on.
Yeah, it sounds like vodka and I.
Yeah, but you
That's
still
great.
seem pretty young, man. Like,
Oh yeah, I'm 26.
All right, yeah. So
Yeah.
I started growing cannabis 27 years ago. So
Yeah.
probably right before you were born, man. So I mean, you know, to see it from then till now it's amazing.
Yeah.
So the opportunity, like I was saying earlier about you being able to be in this time, to be able to go and do those kind of things is awesome.
No, we're definitely the lucky generation for sure
Right,
too.
you know, and we're at the
to do
forefront
this.
of it. So I mean, think, you know, we'll be long gone by then, but 100 or so years from now, like, people are gonna be talking about these times, right?
Oh, for sure.
You know, it's gonna be like you see the alcohol, I mean, that's gonna be cannabis. So I
Mhm.
mean, it's gonna be, you know, my opinion, the most widely used plant in the world sometime in the near future. So I mean, as
Oh,
hemp or,
it's been
I mean, that by corn and all these crops, you know, I'm just saying.
It's becoming a
leave 'em.
commodities market, yeah, for
You know what I mean?
sure.
So now that hemp's being able to be grown again and processed, and you know, it's just gonna keep growing and growing. More countries now are coming online, legalizing. So yeah, it's just gonna get bigger and bigger.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is, you know, and it's a lot of opportunity, especially for, you know, if you have the passion and you do have the financing to be able to get into the industry, you know, there's plenty of room to be able to make your niche.
Mhm.
You know, and like you make your concentrates, you know, you make a top tier product. Not too many people can get to that level. They can probably make a lot of distillate and this, that, and the other, but can they really make, you know, the best of the best?
I mean, anyone can.
Well, if they have
really,
passion.
really wanted to.
They
Time,
wanted
but
to.
you're
Yes, they want
you know,
to,
you have
right.
experience, so where not anybody can just go into a lab and start doing this.
Oh no, for sure.
You know, that's what I mean. So you know the plant from inside out. You know, you've
Mhm.
grown it, you've been able to process it, and that's what I mean. Like, not everybody can just do that.
No, for sure. Yeah.
You know, just like myself, I've been growing cannabis for so long, you know, to me it's like nothing, you know, but other people, when they come into my shop, they're like, oh, I'm like, well, it's not that difficult, like, you know what I mean? Don't make it
Yeah.
too difficult, like, leave your plants alone sometimes, you know, just they'll do their thing, you know what I mean? Just give them what they need and, you know, let them do their thing, and not a lot of people can do that because they're just so new to it.
Yep.
You know, and I think that's what I've been able to learn, you know, throughout the years and be able to teach people. You know, and that's why I pride myself in being able to educate people on how to grow some good dank, you know, and to be able to, you know, save themselves some money by, you know, growing their own. You know, I'm very passionate about that, not just cannabis, but plants. You know, I love plants, and I love to be able to teach people how to grow their own food and make that possible. And, you know, everybody has to eat, not everybody smokes cannabis, you know, if you can learn how to feed yourself and teach your kids that, I mean, that's a very valuable, you know, tool that they're gonna grow up with.
Absolutely.
And most kids nowadays, they think food comes from fast food in the grocery store.
Right.
No,
Nobody's
you gotta see where
self-reliant.
this food really comes from, you know what I mean? And I've been able, it's blown my mind, you know, some of the classes I've done for kids, this little stuff, and how fascinated these little kids were about these plants growing. It was just like, that's what really like told me that I was supposed to do that, you know? I'm like, all right, this is awesome, you know what I mean? To see them, and the biggest thing, I tell the story all the time, my daughter's, you know, she's very passionate about what I do, and you know, as she was growing up, she always wanted me to tell her teachers, you know, to let me do some gardening stuff, or whatever it was, and then it was her 6th grade class, and it was the last day, you know, and she kept bugging her teacher, you know, to let me do the class, and her teacher was like, oh, you know, whatever, everything. And then finally she was like, all right, I'll give them a half an hour the last day. I'm like, a half an hour to teach kids hydroponics. I'm like, holy shit, you know what I mean? Like, but I went in there and I killed it. I'm telling you, the teacher could not believe it. Like, she was like, how did you do that? You know what I mean? And the best thing though, the next day I volunteered for their after school party, and this little dude came up to me and he said, Mr. Vasquez, I really love that gardening class. It was the best class I've ever done, and I want to do hydroponics when I grow up. And I was like, wow. That's what it was all about right there. You know what I mean? Who knows what he can grow up doing just because that seed was planted. You know what I mean? So it's just awesome, man. I love it. And that's where, you know, we can make a little bit of a change, but the future generations can be the change. You know, we can instill that. And they're gonna grow up with that.
1.0 yet. So it's kind of what like the plant is just like uplifting the community. If I can teach you something, someone taught me something, we can all better ourselves and the plant, the community as a whole.
That's right. You know, I'm all about community, bro. Like literally, like, you know, like you said, we all help each other out rather than try to battle each other. You know, we're all in this game together, right?
Yep.
You know what I mean? You guys work together, you know what I mean, to try to make an awesome product. You know, and that's where, you know, you guys are gonna be able to stand, you know, aside from other companies because of that. So I think, you know, what you guys have, family, you know, just in the involvement is really cool, you know, and that's what I say about Sticky Saguaro. It's just being, you know, when I'm there at Sticky Saguaro, I see the family, you know, I see, you know, not only the brothers, but I see the dad, I see the aunts, the uncles, this and that. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. I don't see that at any other dispensary. Never have I ever seen any one of the owners at a dispensary besides that, you know? It's kind of crazy. What are you gonna say?
It's the way it should be.
It should
It's
be.
the way it should be, right? Actually, that dispensary was the one, I think one of my like t-shirt guys, he's like, they're just bragging about it. They won't go anywhere else. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. You know,
Yeah.
So they feel, you know, he took the opportunity for no reason just to tell me that, you know. He feels welcome when he goes in there, and that it's, you know, it's a different environment, a different feel.
It is, and I don't just say that because they're my sponsors, you know. I've been friends with the family for over 15 years, so I mean, I've known them way before they even got into the scene, you know what I mean? And I know what their intentions are, you know, and they have great intentions, you know. And it's not, you know, any business needs to make money, you know what I mean, to
Right.
survive and be viable, but it's not about that, you know what I mean? They're about helping people, you know, and cannabis is, you know, a healer, you know what I mean? And we need to spread this word because what is pharmaceuticals doing? What is fentanyl doing? It's killing people left and right. We hear about it every day, right?
Yeah.
And we have a flood of it coming from, you know, Mexico and all these other places, you know what I mean? And it's just flooding in. And it's just gonna kill more and more people. So I mean, and what's next? You know, as from when I was young to now, I'm like, there's so many drugs that, holy shit, you know what I mean? What's gonna happen
Right.
10 to 20 years from now? What's it gonna be?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we have to educate people about these natural products, you know what I mean? And be able to show them options and that they really work. You know, if somebody goes home and let's just say they were going to their doctor getting Prozac and this, that, and the other for depression and whatever, and it's just, it's chemically altering something in their body, right, to make them feel a certain way, and it's gonna have side effects to where they can go get one of these father and sons pre-rolls right here and get such relief off this cannabis, right, and not have these horrible side effects that might kill them.
Right.
So I mean, it's very important, you know, and that's where we go back to the community and educate the community about, you know, the importance of keeping this culture alive, you know, with where cannabis came from. So that way they can appreciate it too, you know what I mean? Because it's not all about the products, it's about the culture, you know, and how we got here. Because without people like, you know, like myself and Ari and all these other people out there taking the risk back in the day, we never would have been here. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of people that are still suffering to this day that are in
Which is
prison.
what's crazy, yeah, it's
They
what's
lost their
crazy
freedom.
because it's like the suits, I guess you would call them, like, it's like, wow, like that's who runs the weed industry now. Like this is crazy. It's not the people who, like, you know, again, paved the way, you know, like they're just regular normal people, yeah. I mean, it's like the people who are like living in the shadows, and like you're like, oh, you do that. Again, like I said earlier, it's like, you know, you're lucky even now to know a plug or to have a plug or somebody that, you know, you're like, oh, I know this person, I know how they cultivate, I know the way that they grow, I know their intentions.
Well, you saying that's the original reason I started this a show back in the days, because I came from the industry. We didn't have regulations here, and I knew what was happening, and I'm like, this is horrible. Like I am not that person. I used to run grocery stores for 15 plus years, and I used to teach people how not to do that, right? And then all of a sudden they wanted me to do it. I'm like, no. And I literally stood up with the owners, and they didn't like that. They were like, what do you mean no? And I was like, exactly what I said, you know, and I literally said it just like that. Like, I'm not doing that. If you want to do it when I leave, they're your plans, but I'm not doing it. And I left that because I'm like, you know what, I'm starting to show to let the community know, like, what's happening. You know, they think they're going to get, you know, safe meds, and that ain't happening. You know what I mean? Like, they're most of them were poisoning people.
There you go, 20.
Right? They go 20, like, it was like, oh man, I'm like, what's wrong with you people?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So,
And hence, that was, again, same reason I started the podcast, my YouTube channel, to educate the community about what good, clean medicine should be.
What to
and
look for,
that's
right?
what to look for,
And
what
what to look
know.
out for and not to get.
Exactly. It's like, hey, you're gonna spend your money, everybody works hard, you know, $50 is different to everybody, but it's still like $50. Let's just say it's $50 for an eighth or whatever it is. It's like, even if it's a $25 eighth, $25 to somebody might be 50 to somebody else, and, you know, up and down the line, you know, but the bottom line is, you know, if you're getting a shitty product that doesn't make you feel good, it doesn't treat any of your symptoms, you know, like you were saying, it's like most people are using this to avoid, you know, having to go the true narcotic route in the form of a pharmaceutical, you know, or alcohol or whatever they might use to self-medicate, you know.
I could literally talk about this stuff like for days, right? But I want to get back on the subject here of your products. Here. I want you to talk a little bit about this packaging, because as I'm looking at it, and in my opinion, you know, I haven't seen any other packaging like what you have here, and I really like that you stand out different from other pre-rolls.
Thanks.
So yeah, I mean, how did you discover it?
What happened was, we actually went to a local, you know, other packaging company
Okay.
that's big here,
Just for-
and I can't remember the name actually, but you know, and I nothing went wrong there. It was great. But what happened was that what's available, you know, we were just settling, right? So we paid for everything, you know, we got all the graphics, everything done, we were ready to rock and roll. And then my neighbor had her sister works for a weed packaging company. And so they sent me pictures it was the prototype of it, you know, and they gave me some pricing. So I was like their first order ever.
Oh, I love
still
it.
had to wait for it to come in. So I just scratched all that other stuff, paid them for their graphic design and everything, and we completely did it all over so that we could have something good. The main thing is, it looks kick-ass, but it also seals it, you know, keeps your shit fresh.
Nice.
But if you stick it in your back pocket or whatever, you don't have to worry about smashing the joints.
Right. Yeah, I like it. It's nice and small and like tight and compact for sure.
And many of them can sit on dispensary shelves all over the place quite easily. They fit there nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Love
they can
that.
stand up on their own rather than a little tube or whatever it is.
You're having to put it on one of the slide racks or whatever. Yeah.
And then there's another thing I want to point out, that you guys were, I believe, the first of here, at least in Arizona. Like you mentioned that you were on the radio.
Yeah, we
Being able to advertise a cannabis product.
We
right?
did. We got Erica. She is our radio consultant in marketing. Okay, she worked on all the stations for 4 months.
Wow.
Just grinding them. And the thing is that they couldn't ignore her because they all know her. She's been in the industry for many years,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really hard. But I just felt like we had to be the first one on there, no matter how we had to do it. And she pulled it off. We got on. It started out where we weren't able to say we couldn't say our full name. We just say father and son. So we ran ads, father and sons. We were the first cannabis product in Arizona on the radio.
Love it.
So we got that. But then the FCC came out and they loosened it up a little bit. So now we got, hash, weed, feel the difference,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And we continue running. They're on the air now.
That's
It's,
good. You guys
great.
are breaking
Power
that
90,
mold, right?
Power 98.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I loved about the show, not that we didn't have to follow the FCC guidelines. We could talk and say what the hell we wanted to say. You know what I mean? So that's great to know that they're at least easing up and they're coming of age, we'll call it, right? I mean, that's why I say the Stone Age podcast. We're in the Stone Age, you know what I mean? Like, you see it everywhere. You hear about it, you see it on billboards. No matter where you go, you see cannabis. You know what I mean? We're in the Stone Age right now.
Cannabis
You know what I mean? And that's the
doctor.
You
beauty of
smell
it.
it now. Everywhere.
Yeah, right.
Driving down the
Smell
freeway.
it.
Dude smoking
Driving.
in the car in front of me. It smells like some good shit.
Right.
All
Yep.
the time. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I'm learning, right? I'm gonna continue learning, but I'm pretty new to this, so I'm very being humble about it. I don't just go make moves without talking to the to the people that are in tune with the industry.
Like you said, they've been in the industry for a while, and I want to bring Keaton back on after he's done doing his dab over here.
I love it. I
and
know.
talk
I was
more
gonna
about
add.
that, too.
What were you dabbing on there?
So let's get you to that mic real quick.
Some runs.
Yeah.
That's right.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, Alex, in a minute actually. We can I want to try that GMO. I think we did the GMO before, right? Yeah, let's
I want to try some of that GMO. I
It
love
smells
it.
great.
Oh,
It's
man.
definitely GMO. That's right.
It's definitely GMO. That's
Yeah,
a
that's why I
familiar
said
one
after
we're
his
familiar
dab over
with.
here because he's just steady puffing that thing over there.
Yeah.
You dab yourself?
I do not. No.
Yeah, I don't blame you. 'Cause sometimes it's a little too much, but
Yeah.
I'm old school. I'm a flower guy myself. I love to, I'm passionate about flower. I'll dab, but I'm definitely more flower. That's why dabs get me so freaking high. I think
Right.
It's just so powerful rather than just,
I'm purist. Old school like that. Yeah.
and I think, I overheard our show director, Tanya, from Smoking Hot over here. She was talking before the show saying, at the very beginning when dabs first came out, it kind of turned me off to where I'm like, holy shit, what are you guys doing with all these torches and shit?
Blowing
Like,
your mind,
I have a
right?
daughter,
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's an
if she sees me
investment.
doing that, she's gonna be like, what
It's
the
an
hell are you
investment.
doing, Dad? You're not just
Yeah.
smoking weed. Sure you are.
Yeah, right. It looks like you're smoking crack to me. It's what it looks like you're smoking there. Damn.
And it's just
It's a process.
I don't like the sight of it, you know what I mean? Because in my mind, I'm like, oh, that's not how I want to smoke cannabis. And that's why I like these little puff codes because
That's why I like the puff.
it's like a whole revolutionary kind of way to do things, right?
Much cleaner.
Yeah, and it looks a lot better.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't feel like a crackhead when
Right,
I'm smoking it.
right. Definitely.
But you ready to get back on the mic there, Keaton?
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and bring him back on. Because Keaton, I want to know a little bit about more about yourself. And your dad said you come from the industry. Did you work here in the industry?
Yeah, I worked for a couple companies out here for the past 2 years it's been.
All right.
Before that I didn't have much in the industry.
And you look young yourself, so.
Yeah, I turned 26 in a couple days on Tuesday.
Nice.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy
I
birthday.
appreciate it.
So yeah, no, it's so you guys were born at the same time. That's awesome.
Yeah,
All
a
right.
couple weeks apart.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
that's cool. You guys have a close relationship.
Yeah.
And that's I can see it. You guys work well with each other, and obviously you guys are very passionate about what you guys are bringing to the table. What can you say about your products? To anybody out there listening, like if they're weary about pre-rolls.
I mean, no, I'm not a big fan of pre-rolls, honestly. I never have been, because it's never anything enjoyable. Any of the infused pre-rolls I've ever had, I've never been a fan of, because they're usually just too harsh, like they're distillate
Dry.
or anything like that. It just hurts to smoke. I can't enjoy it at all. And so, it's something that I want to make something that I enjoy. Something that I can smoke, it's smooth, it doesn't destroy my lungs. It actually gets you high, it's flavorful, and it's not made with a bunch of chemicals.
Right.
Yeah, I want to be able to provide something that, just that I can smoke every day. Everybody else can enjoy.
Most pre-rolls, if I did it, when I did smoke them or whatever, I would find myself wanting to smoke another one because I didn't get high, right?
Mhm.
The only reason I wanted to smoke another one of your guys right away because it was just small, and I'm a smoker, you know what I mean? So I'm like, well, shit, that was good. I want to smoke another one, you know what I mean? Because
Exactly.
just for me, myself, I love the size. I think it's got its it's places for sure, because sometimes I just want to take a quick little rip. And,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I don't need to smoke a lot, you know what I mean? So I think they're great for those kind of moments, but when I'm sitting there and I want to smoke, I'm like, shit, you know what I mean? So do you guys have plans for, you know, down the road for bigger options?
Yeah, no, we originally we were gonna start doing a full gram infused pre-roll with a live hash on. It's just we had some problems with it, just how it smoked, and it just wasn't like it wasn't burning properly, and so I didn't want to produce something that wasn't gonna be like proper to the taste.
Well, that's good,
That-
you know,
yeah.
you want to have quality control, and I think that's great, you know, and I
Great.
appreciate that, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, most people just put something out, right?
Same. Yep. They're like, oh.
They're like, oh, somebody will buy it.
Yeah, right. Oh, it doesn't really work, or it's like this is what I want, and I'm stuck on this idea, so I'm gonna just put it out, and it's gonna be subpar. So like, I like that you held back as well. We were talking about that earlier before the show. It's like, you know what? It's something that you have to learn through research and development and trying it. And again, I like that it's like you're saying, it's like it's something that you want to use, and that you're like I would consume this, you know, daily, right? And you know, again, that vibe or that, you know, essence in the weed, it does shine through. I'm not gonna lie, because I wouldn't have said if I thought they were good.
Yeah.
I would tell you the truthfully. I mean, if I did not like it, I would absolutely have just been like, it's not for me. But again, as somebody who, you know, you mentioned, it's like, it's just smooth, doesn't really, you know, again, combust. I'm like, I was impressed. I liked it, especially as somebody who rarely smokes concentrate as well. So, you know, that addition to it, you know, it was nice.
I like that you guys are doing regular hash. You know, that's not a lot of people. They put some, you know, just a lid,
Exactly.
maybe some hash rosin, or you know, whatever it is, some kind of concentrate crumble or whatever. But you know, the old school hash.
So are you working on the cultivation side of things then?
No, when I was in it was all packaging.
Okay, cool.
Cartridge filling and putting stickers on boxes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And what with this as far as this goes, are these strains that you guys are outsourcing? Is the cannabis being grown in house? Is I guess my question.
That's the end goal.
It's all outsourced, yeah. That's
Okay.
our end goal eventually.
Cool.
Got to get your foot in the door first,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think I might know some people to chat with about some potentially doing some real terpy runs. So that's good. We'll chat about that after the show. Sweet. Yeah.
That's great.
Cool.
So yourself, Alex, I'm gonna pass the mic over to you real quick. How long have you been in the industry here in Arizona, like in your own company?
In Arizona, my company's been around for 9 months now.
Okay.
Cool.
How many dispensaries are you in right now?
We have been in 26. I think a few sold out, and we gotta get them some more.
Awesome.
Yeah, we've been in 26 for pretty much the whole time.
Love
This
that.
GMO right here, root beer. You said GMO.
GMO root beer, so
Camo root beer, yeah, you got the head change. I see it in his eyes. The little devil came out to play.
that one's
I
actually,
see.
processed it 2 days ago, so.
Can't catch my breath.
She's
right
as
now.
fresh as she can be, straight out of the
No, and I think it's
straight out of
you
the
know,
factory.
I think it's nice that you guys do have an end goal of having your own, you know, single source and
That's
just
right.
keeping it that way. And
Yeah, the smaller the better, right? For sure, absolutely. The more components you can control, the better. I mean, that's the problem. Is I think with the corporate cannabis is there's
try to go too big.
too many hands in the cookie jar, and you know that's right. It's like, you know, there's just not much vested interest. So again, I like that it's small. You guys are working as a family.
Well, when I first got in the industry, you know, we were doing smaller grow. It was like, you know, 15, 20,000 square foot. I mean, that's still big.
But manageable.
Now there's, you know, up to 100, 150, 200, or more, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? And at 20, you know, I had hands on and my eyes were on everything. Where 50, there's no possibility of that, you know, I mean, to where you can be on every day and, you know, for sure, you gotta rely on other people, and that's where, you know, things go wrong, you know, if you don't have the right people in the right places, and if you're just hiring nobody that doesn't know how to grow, and just putting them there and try to tell them what to do. When I first came into the scene, it was crazy, like, I couldn't believe what was happening. I was like, what is it? Well, I literally had to walk around for 2 weeks going, I just wanted to observe, because I was like, what is happening? Like, how are things this bad? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? So I would watch everybody. I'm like, wow, they're just doing everything wrong. first thing was they nobody in there knew how to grow weed. Nobody ever grew weed before. And they literally had a freaking folder that every day they followed whatever Monday said and all the way through the week, right? And that's all they did. Nobody knew how to tell if the plant was deficient, sick, bugs, nothing. So it was like, holy shit. So the first thing I gathered them all together and I grabbed the book and I said, boom, in the trash. They're all like, what are we gonna do? I'm like, don't worry about that. We're gonna redo some stuff, right? First of all, we're gonna start doing this and that. And I just started redoing things, right? And then finally I was educating them on why. I couldn't believe they were doing cubes, right? They were doing 6-inch cubes and like, they would have these plants that were from batches, I'm not even playing it, 6 months old, that were just this big, and like you could tell they were just only there and alive because there was moisture. I'm like, you had this going for 6 months? Like, what do you mean? Like, you walk right up and it just fall right out. And I'm like,
shrivels to dust.
shit. Like, what are you guys doing? I'm like, and then like, I literally threw away like 1,000 or so plants after the first week, and then all of a sudden the manager comes to me, he's freaking out, like, what are we gonna do? I'm like, bro, I will cut new ones and then we'll
we
be
gotta
ready.
start over.
Way before all these, you know what I mean? And then we started doing that, and they were just like, holy shit! Like, and then I started educating them, and it was just like a whole new world. But I couldn't believe that they were just going by this little folder. And I'm like, holy shit!
Flying
Like,
blind.
who thought that was a good idea? Like, oh damn.
They find some random consultant that says that they can change the world, and then that's the SOPs they go by. They don't teach anyone, and they don't pay people enough.
Right, they don't pay
It was
people
a waste
enough or
of
treat them
everything.
well
Like,
enough.
it was
You're right.
crazy. Like, this is where I got bitter a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, because not only did I make them millions, I saved them per year. About $1 million almost, literally almost $1 million in products that they were just wasting because they didn't need to do it. Like, finally it came to the end point to where I went right from the Rockwell cube, and I would just go right into the mix where they didn't want to do that. They wanted to go from that into the floor, into the this. I'm like, you guys are just wasting money. Like, we don't need to do that. Like, you're wasting nutrients to be able to do this and the water and all this stuff.
Right,
and then finally he's like, I'm like, literally just show you on half a room. I did, and he was like, we're never buying that again.
Yeah.
So right there alone, $400,000 that they did not have to spend per year. And that was just one thing, you know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, then they don't appreciate those kind of things down the road, you know what I mean? They take advantage of that, you know what I mean?
Right.
So you're like, whoa, like,
What
you
you
guys,
saw.
you open your eyes, you're like,
what
damn,
have you
like,
done for me lately, for sure.
you know, and there's been multiple times, you know, that's why, you know, I know my way around this industry very well, you know what I mean? And that's why, you know, I love doing the show, because we can bring on people and we can talk about these kind of things, because the industry isn't as pretty as it seems, you know what I mean? There's a lot of trickery and fuckery going on.
There is.
You gotta know who to play with.
That's why it's good to know about these products and future products like this, honestly. That's why I think the show is important, because we get to highlight people that, you know, again, we want to talk about, and people that we you know, again, believe in, we get behind, and, you know, this is definitely a product that I again, even for me, I'm like, I really, I like what you have, for sure.
And, you know, the license behind it, I like the license behind it. You know, it is a bigger, you know, obviously a bigger company, but I like what they're doing. And if you want to talk about that, I'm not gonna say it, but if you would like to talk about that, that's up to you.
Yeah. I'm gonna- So first of all, thanks. You know,
Yeah.
Kind words and stuff. I do believe you that you would tell me it sucked ass.
Yeah, for sure.
These guys are the exact same. You know, so. But I like this. I mean, this shit's good. You know, forget about the product for a minute.
Thank you.
The industry, you know, like without tarnishing people or you know or bad vibes or anything like that. There's just some dysfunction. You know, it's dysfunction, and you know the thing is, here's what I'll get right down to this. The people told me, I can't remember who it was, an expert. Don't spend money, you know, on advertising and all that shit, and just make, you know, just make a product, get it in there, you know, make it 50 cents or whatever. Do it the cheapest that you can,
Right.
whatever, because they're gonna put it on the shelf, they're gonna sell it, and the dispensaries, you know, typically pay you know, ahead of time. So, you know, people aren't stupid. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the general attitude, right? And that shit's gonna change, right? It's gonna change.
Oh, it's changing.
It is
Yeah,
changing,
already.
This is what we decided to do. You know, is that people aren't stupid, okay? You can ask almost anyone, hey, have you bought a pre-roll recently? They'll be like, yeah. And you're like, can you tell me the name of it?
Right.
And no one knows the fucking name.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
reason they don't know the name is because it sucked ass.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and also because there's no branding.
They just
They don't think that they actually have to build their brand.
Right.
Because they're so arrogant, you know,
Yeah.
that they, right now, the dispensaries had to buy it, right?
Right.
Is what there is.
Yep.
So we're starting out that way. We went backwards. We made a product that was extremely costly to develop, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
It's extremely labor intensive, you know, and it's uncompromising. So when you buy a father and son joint or any one of our products, you know, that we're coming out with, you're not going to forget it. I mean, I need you to come back and buy my product again.
Right.
If I can't put out a fucking product that makes you come back and buy my product, what the fuck am I doing here? You know what I mean?
That's true.
But the corporate, the big overlords with their ginormous, whatever it is they have,
Right.
okay, deciding from New York City or whatever, are like, push it,
If
push
they
it,
live
push
in
it, push it,
America
push it.
potentially, right? Yeah.
That shit is gonna dry out.
Right.
It takes care of itself.
It does.
It's
No,
organic.
you're absolutely right. The cream
So-
always does rise to the top for sure, and I agree as well. It's like people are they're getting smarter. Hence why, you know, the educational, you know, resource that I think, you know, the Stone Date provides, Canopy Review provides, you know, that it helps people. We're trying to do that, you know, because people do want to know. I mean, I love getting feedback on my videos. It's like, hey man, I'm glad I watched that. Thank you, bro. I was like gonna waste my money on this, or like, you know, it really, again, just being able to be honest and be real with people. You know, I said, even, you know, it's like people will just see the real version of you. It's like, do they want to buy the product from some
Like,
guy
this is the people behind this product right here. You
Right.
know what I mean? This is why we like to do the show, to showcase who's behind this package right here, right?
Yeah, right on.
You got to get to know people that are, you know, and that's where we can bridge that gap. People that get to know you and support, right? Because I like this. This is something that I would have rep my show, you know, so we can talk about sponsorship, advertising, things like that, because this is what I believe. You know,
Yeah,
I like
good
to,
product,
I don't
for sure.
just let, I'm very selective on who sponsors and who is part of my show and part of what we do. I don't just do it for money. You know what I mean? Obviously I could lose out, and I have a lot of money, but it's not about that. You know what I mean? In the end, I'm not, like you were saying, it's not a race to the top. You know, I'm doing my thing, you know what I mean? And we just love to organically grow, and like yourself, you know what I mean? We get people that reach out, and I'm glad that you guys did, and we got, you know, in contact to be able to really put your guys' brand out there on our platform, and, you know, really just, you know, show the love, man.
Yeah,
I think you guys are doing something great, you know, and I would tell you as well, you know, and I did tell you, the only thing I had to say about it is that it was just,
Too small.
right?
It's not enough.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say a joke about that, but you know, I'll
Later. That's what she said.
Oh man, well, that's good. That's a shot. That's good. There you go.
Can't not.
No, I know. Yeah, exactly.
But you know what I mean? So I appreciate you guys taking the time tonight to really
Yeah,
come
we
on and,
appreciate
you know,
you guys,
educate
seriously.
you know, us and our community about who you are, what
Yep.
your brand's about, how
Yeah, it's awesome.
came to life, why you're different than the others, you know, and you know that you guys do have a great pre-roll. I actually can't wait to smoke another one after the show, and that's saying a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Right on, man. Thank
you know,
you.
I took a hit, you know, prior to the show. I did smoke some the other day, and I really did like it. I mean, it was very smooth, like Ari said. And it was, you know, most pre-rolls are harsh, and I'm like, like I don't want to hit that again. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that was nice to where, like I said, I was enjoying it too much to where it was too small. I'm like, damn, I need another one. You know what I mean? And then before I know, there's no more. So I'm like, shit. All right.
Finished them. They're gone. They're gone.
And I'm a connoisseur. I love to smoke. You know, I'll smoke freaking all that right now. You know what I mean? So
Ah,
it's like,
that's okay.
Don't worry, we're gonna be making some bigger ones.
Awesome.
You know, but we're gonna do it right.
no, that's what I appreciate. You know, like you said, you don't want to just put out something. And I think, you know, that's what it's all about. Taking your time. It's not a race to the top. You guys are just getting into the industry here. Want to make a name, get that support. You know, you're family owned, family operated. That's the way to go, in my opinion. You know what I mean? That's what we do here. Little Shop of Hydros, Dine Up Your CBD. We're family owned, family operated. You come in, you're gonna see me here on a daily. And I'm not lying. You're gonna see me. I might not be here all day. But I'll be here. You know what I mean? So I'm here because I need to show face, and I want to, you know, that's how businesses, you know, make it. You know, if you go out, most brands, you got these companies, you know, I think we talked about this at the Earl Cup and other things, where I don't really go unless I have a purpose to be there. I'm not gonna go stand in line for a dab, I don't need to do that, all that kind of shit, right? Not to brag, but I don't need to do that, and I wouldn't do that, I don't care, I don't need to get high that day. You know what I'm saying? I've done that for 20-something years, like, that's not
I was doing it
you know
before
what
it
I
was
mean?
cool, man.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
we did
we did
this
it when
shit
we
back
were
in
the
the day.
outcasts. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and that's where I say we need to keep that culture alive, because man, like, this ain't nothing. You know what I mean? Like, back in the day, it was better to me because it was illegal and it was just like something that everybody's like, oh my God, there's weed at the party, you know?
Yeah,
So it was freaking cool as fuck. Now it's like, oh, you know, whatever.
It was alive at the Stephen Marley show last night. Mike Love, man, woo, boy, oh boy. I woke up and I was still baked from last night. I'm like, and I barely smoked there. I was like, man, the second hand is just like, I've got a sore throat. I haven't even smoked anything here. It's not my vape. But so where can people find you guys, whether it's on Instagram or online or in stores? Where do you want to, where can people look out for you guys?
Or
That's what I'm
if you need to get on shelves, how do they get a hold of you?
Right.
We're trying to get on shelves, but we want to partner with, you know, as many dispensaries, you know, that we can. You know, basically, we're advertising. You know, we're going to drive sales to the dispensaries, and as soon as Erica, marketing, she's got a whole program already ready to go on our digital, which we're dedicating a lot of money to.
Yeah.
So we're gonna advertise to bring people into those dispensaries. You know, so we're new. We're just trying to get on shelves. We're ready to stock shelves right now.
Outstanding.
Well, if we
Looking
can,
for a break.
Where
we can try to get you in contact. Like I said, I did pass you along to Sticky Swirl owners over there.
I love
so
that.
Hopefully they reach out, you know, and we'll do whatever else we can too. But
Yeah, we
tell us
wanna support you
where to
guys.
go and how to find you.
Yeah, we're
You first.
both of you guys.
Well, we have a solvent line and we have our solventless line. Kind of just because most things don't work well in a solventless environment.
Right.
So we got to make up that loss somewhere. So we decided to go with a high quality resin. But you can find the resins at pretty much like Wet Sun Leaf, all the Nirvanas, the Good Dispensary, True Bliss. Who else?
What about Sticky?
Sticky had them. I think they sold out, so we gotta get
That's
it to
great.
drop. And then our rosins you can find at Jar, Superior, the Good Dispensary, all the Nirvanas, True Bliss as well.
Cool.
Heck yeah.
All of our
Yeah.
rosins are real small drops.
What about your Instagram?
That's great.
Uh,
Yeah.
Instagram, Solventless Refinery. You gotta type the whole thing in because we're shadow banned, unfortunately. But
Sounds like somebody I know.
Somebody
Sounds like
same
somebody
thing.
I know.
Yeah.
I just found out about what that was. Somebody's like, dude, I think you're fucking shadow banned, bro. I'm like, what
It's
the
true.
fuck is a shadow
It's a thing.
band? I don't get online, but
It's
I'm
the
like,
thing.
what
It
the
is.
fuck is
Like,
It's
that?
the punishment. You're grounded.
Like, they know what you are. He's like, dude, they know what you're doing on here. I'm like, what do you mean what I'm doing on here? I'm
Yeah.
educating the community.
So where can people find?
Oh yeah, hit us up on Instagram. It's Father and Sons Weed, and it's not ampersand. It's Father AND Sons Weed, or you know, Father and Sons pre-rolls.com.
Killer.
Right, and then you know, for companies that might want to reach out, you know, how can they reach out to you on those platforms? Or?
Yeah, let me give you my telephone number. I'm also
No,
dating,
that's
and I'm
perfect.
single right now,
No,
so
it's like an info.
any chicks out there, you know, come on.
No, some
Anyway,
people have
so
an info email, like just that basic, you know, how can somebody reach out besides social if they want to reach out? I mean, because I know people are going to watch this, and then, you know, there is some people out there that are in the industry that are big names, so. You know,
I give my actual phone number, you know, 602-565-0640, ladies.
Damn. I'm the owner of the company giving out his number. I like that. That's like, hey,
That's like,
it's coming
you know,
direct to
I'm not hiding. Like,
That's
you buy
awesome.
the shit and you call
Yeah.
me to talk to me.
That's
I mean,
great.
You got a question?
I like that.
Got an
That's-
idea? We're open for ideas, you
That's
know,
great.
any of that stuff.
I like that.
Like-
You know, that's why I
Yeah.
can stand behind a product like that. You know
So-
what I mean? What you guys are doing is great. You know, and I like to show face, like
Yeah,
you
we're-
said. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that's important in a company. So, community respects that, and that's how you're gonna build a big name. So,
Yeah,
I
but
wish
we're
you guys
excited
the
to see
best.
what's to come for sure. This is great.
Yeah, I can't wait to blaze
It's
it
got
up.
good intentions behind it, so good intentions again. Yeah, the cream wall.
It's solventless, you know, we're doing only solventless. We have a cured hash line coming out, and you know, this is live hash, you know.
Yeah,
So the two different lives, very special, you know. It's amazing. It's a little bit more money. Pure hash is still gonna kill anything out there, and you're gonna love it. It's amazing.
Wow.
We're stoked about it.
Yeah,
Thank
can't
you
wait
for
to
showing.
see how it blossoms. So thank you again.
Yeah,
No
thank you for
diss
showing
to
us
it.
these projects.
Yeah, I like that.
No
Products,
diss to
we
it.
love them.
All
Yeah.
right, so yeah, all right, man. This is a great show. What do you
Fun,
think?
yeah, this was fun. I'm like, again, anything local, anything that supports the community, you know, just it's so important. It really is. It's important to know what products you're buying. It's you know, it's important to go out and
who's behind the
Yeah,
product.
right.
In my opinion, you know, that's everything because you know I want to support good people.
yeah,
I
listen.
don't want that money to go, like you said. I mean, there's a lot of companies that don't even live in this country that are, you know, getting our hard-earned dollars out here, right? And Arizona, so I mean, it's like, well, shit. You know, I want to be able to give, you know, somebody that really, you know, is going to be here and be able to, you know, keep it local.
Absolutely. I mean, and I think that's where, you know, we highlight the store, Little Shop of Hydros and Dyna Pure CBD. I mean, again, this is why these like farmers markets, it's important to support your local community, going to local concerts and local music and stuff. It's like, going, you know, all the big like things. I was like, somebody sent me, it's like, oh, we got to go see Anthrax. I'm like, fucking Anthrax. First of all, I'm not an Anthrax fan, bro. And then I see the price, it's like $110. I'm like, $110, that's before the fees and the parking and all the shit. Like, are you kidding me? I'm like, you know,
speaking about music, you know, I know somebody that has an album release.
It's no secret. The cat is out of the bag here. I'm going to be hosting, along with the Stone Age podcast, along with Cannapedia Reviews, Dyna Pure CBD, as well as Little Shop of Hydros, August 13th, Rock Bar, Eye the Tiger album release party. That's my personal solo project, but
they're working hard on that.
But listen, it's not just me up there. It's not just going to be me standing up there crying with an acoustic guitar, you know, for you guys. So I've got a full live band. We have been rehearsing for months to get the show together. We got a cellist, we got a violinist. I mean, we were all getting body chills at rehearsal the other day, and I mean, it is going to be a dope, fun night. August 13th. There's a couple other bands. Practically People is going to be opening, as well as Palomas, and the doors are at 7. Music starts at 8 o'clock. Actually, doors will be at 6. Music will be at 7.
I think we need to see if Father and Sons can be there promoting.
You know what? They should be. Honestly, I don't see why you guys shouldn't be there handing out some samples of those in Old Town, because I have a feeling that night is going to be a very fun-filled night. There's going to be a lot of good energy.
And if you want to get on any sponsorship on that, I think that would be a good opportunity.
For sure.
The Rock Bar is going to be a nice.
Oh, it's going to be
a venue.
We are going to load that place. I have a feeling we're going to blow the roof off of Rock Bar, and they're going to be like, you guys need to head over to the Marquee Theater to a little bit. The sound, you know, can't be contained here in this small little venue. But
well, you know, I look forward to that, man. I'm excited for you, so you know, I can't wait.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you being here as well.
Thank you for having me, man.
This has been a great interview. You know, I love to do this for the community. I hope you guys really, you know, take this in, because this is a great product. You know, in the Stone Age podcast, we like to promote great products. You know, and to really stand by something. You know, and like our segment critics at RNI do, you know, we tell it real, you know what I mean? And if it's not good, you're going to know. You know, we're going to say it's moved. We're trying to save you some money out there. Right. You know, this is not cheap.
We had to call our sponsors out before. I mean, you know, it happens, right? This is the world, you know?
We got some new sponsorships coming, so keep an eye on us, you know, over to the Stone Age podcast. Check us out. Peace.